Welcome to the BBC, a WAXcast based on collaboration, not competition. Between both cheeks is a world filled with beauty, bums, and billions of bucks. The hosts of the BBC are Luba, the badass boss bitch, creator and owner of international brands and beauty salons.
I feel like it was like a bad one-night stand.
Becca,
the once newbie and now experienced enforcer who's hatched out of her egg and manages business with authority and a smile.
No more like, I'm going to take on the world.
Welcome to the BBC.
Bring me your balls. Thank you for listening to the BBC Between Both Cheeks. We're recording live from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. What's up, Holly?
Hey!
What's been going on?
Well, actually, since I moved to Vancouver, I've realised that they have a lot of great seafood here.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, the best.
We're near the ocean.
I know!
It's not far.
I've decided I want to go pescatarian for that reason.
Good, yeah.
Today?
Like, yeah, as of yesterday, I was like, you know what? There's so much great seafood around.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I think I want to, like, make some improvements in my diet and go pescatarian.
Reduce your carbon footprint.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Becca, what's up?
I'm doing well. I am currently sleep training my cat because I feel like I have a baby, a
How do
toddler.
you sleep train a cat?
She'll wake up 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning and decide that she's never been fed in her whole life, and we need to call World Vision or something and get her sponsored. And she eats a very good diet. Like, her food is expensive. I feed her a raw diet because I also, like Holly, watched a documentary and it scared me straight about the food that our pets eat. That's a whole different story, but so she wakes up, decides she's starving. So now if she rustles in the night and decides it's time to play or meow at me or paw at me, she gets kicked out of my room because she sleeps in my room in my bed. But if I go to bed without her, she'll claw at the door and cry to be let in because she can't sleep unless she's being cuddled. But she'll wake up at 4, 5, 6 a.m. and that's not okay. So now when she does that, I just boot her out like a child, and then she just has to cry it out like a child. And she is slowly learning, and she will sleep until, 7, 8, 9, a reasonable time.
Well, that's good.
So I don't know if that's a proper method, but it seems to be working.
Okay.
Yeah, just cold turkey. If you wake up, I am not giving you attention. I am not feeding you, even though I know it will shut you up.
Nice.
So that's my week. What's going on with you, Luba?
Well, I'm eating carbs and sugar.
Oh.
I know.
That's not keto.
Keto is not my friend this week, but...
Emotional eating or?
No.
Convenience.
Just convenience.
Okay.
I'm missing the carbs and stuff. So back on track tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow's the
That's
day.
what we say.
Okay.
Don't break promises to yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
That's
I'll
the
keep that
only
in mind.
promise you should keep.
I love that.
And that's usually the first one we break.
Yeah. All right. So moving on.
Okay.
Holly rips a new one.
Whoa. How do I follow that sound?
Right.
Okay. All right, so what I've been thinking about recently is some things that have really challenged me in my career. And what that has been pushed out of my comfort zone, career-wise, okay?
Yeah.
So when you decide, and it was a decision for me, to become an expert in a field, I really just thought that's all I would ever be doing. So for me, I loved waxing. I loved hair removal. I loved speaking to my clients. I loved the fast-paced environment. And that's all I thought I'd ever be doing.
Okay.
Yes, I could teach it to people and well, really, that's all I thought go with. Like, yeah, I can teach this to people, I think. But a couple of things. It first started with being forced to go on camera doing this.
Oh.
And that was really scary because I was like, people don't want to hear what I have to say. Like, what do I know? Like, I'm just one person. I'm just
an expert in waxing.
I didn't think of it like that at that time. And I started going on camera maybe like 3-4 years ago. It was forced.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I would have thought way longer.
No, it was only then. And it was a forced decision because the company I was working with at the time had signed a contract. So they were like, we need to do these segment of videos with this company, and we need someone to be the focus of that. So I didn't really have a choice. I had to do it, and I hated it. I remember the first few takes. I really, really hated it. And and I just got better, I think, at coming across on camera and getting my message across, and people told me I would come across very authentic because one thing, I can't talk about anything that I don't actually fully believe in.
Yes.
So that was one big thing. Anyway, that was a big challenge. That was like 3-4 years ago. I've got more comfortable in that space now, and that's just what it is. The next thing that came is that it was like, okay, you teach waxing and that's great, but now you need to teach this. And what this thing was is lash lifting, which I know is like a really big thing, and like everyone knows how to do it, and it's really easy and all these things. But to me, I was like, that's actually terrifying, because I had seen clients that had overcurled lashes, they had bad experiences, they had crisscross lashes, they had bottom lashes that were sticking up to their top lashes.
Oh, no.
And I was like, okay, you need to have a steady hand, clearly. So I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And it was really, really nerve-wracking. However, I loved having them done to myself, because I was like, what's better than enhancing your natural beauty? So we already have eyelashes. Let's just give them a bit of a curl or a lift, and let's just wake up and look amazing. It's nicer than putting lash extensions on. You know,
Less time too.
yeah, less
More
time.
natural.
It's more natural. Exactly. So I started to view it in this way. So I asked some of my friends to be models that were particularly people that I knew had never had lash extensions. They were just like natural beauties that had never really enhanced that area. Well, in the last 2 days, they have all messaged me saying, oh my God, I love my lashes. My eyes look amazing. I look so beautiful. I'm so happy. And I was like, oh my God, I am re-energized again. Changing people's lives in such a simple way. A 30 to 40 minute procedure that's actually really easy when you know how. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I was so resistant to this. Like, why? Why are we so afraid to get out of our comfort zone? What is
That's
that?
a good question.
Like, how do
Well,
you guys
it's
feel about
comfort,
that?
right? Going outside of comfort and familiarity. It's like, you know, if you break up with someone, you usually end up still talking to them or seeing them afterwards because they're comfortable and they're familiar, right? So it's easy. You don't have to learn something new. You don't have to try something new. You don't have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And it's scary doing new things because I almost feel like vulnerability. You're leaving yourself vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because if you're not good at it,
I don't talk to any of
it's
my exes.
embarrassing. Neither do I, actually. If you break up with me, we're done.
We're done.
But, you know, that's not the usual trend.
Right.
And I think it's out of a comfort thing and a familiarity. You don't have to date again. You don't have to meet new people. They already know everything about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, you're broken up. So.
You know, something that Holly said to me quite some time ago was that I've really kind of just thrown Becca into some stuff and was like, figure it out. So you've obviously been, you know.
I'm outside of my comfort zone every day.
There you go.
I don't know what I'm doing at all, and I think I'm pretty transparent with that. But, you know, if you need to program lights or focus lights and do a light show, I can do that really easily. And that's an entirely different, not transferable skill set at all. But that is what I know how to do.
So what does that look like for you, and how do you feel, and how do you, if you don't know what the answer is and you're out of your comfort zone, how do you find it? And
Well, I feel very out of sync internally, but I like learning, and I think that's where my passion comes from. Like, I'm not necessarily passionate about lights. I didn't go to school knowing that I wanted to do entertainment. It was purely financial. I was like, I have this much money in the bank. What program can I take without taking out a loan? And that was a film and theater program at a local college. So that's where that came from. It wasn't, I was passionate about it. I was like, well, I'm creative. I can figure out anything. So I will figure out this. And I did, and I became skilled at it. So I treat this kind of the same, because if anyone else has done it already, I can learn it too, because they've already done it. and there will be people who can teach me how to do it. Or, you know, the great thing with the internet, I just YouTube and Google, and I use Reddit a lot. Like today I was teaching myself how to do something earlier this afternoon online, because that's how I spend my spare time. I don't watch Netflix, I learn stuff, and I watch people teaching me stuff instead. So I was watching a YouTube video about how to do this thing on this new program that we've got, and then I was reading Reddit, like forums and subreddits and group chats kind of about this area. So I think you can teach yourself anything if you have the tools and the drive and the desire to, but it makes me feel super uncomfortable and not confident. Like, I know I can learn how to do it and I'll get there, but I definitely fumble along the way. But I figure it out as I go, because this whole industry is new.
I think you bring up a really good point in having the drive to want to do it. I think that's a big part of it, and having passion to want to do it. And sometimes you don't see that until, like you spoke, Holly, like till you see those results or you start to get those text messages.
Yeah.
Yes, and then that encourages you to, you know, you're on the right path.
Sometimes you don't know, am I on the right path? Should I be doing this? Should I be focusing on something else? But when people are reinforcing, like, you have actually changed their life.
Yeah.
And realistically, with the beauty industry, that's what it is.
Yes,
You have changed their life. People come to you with a problem and you are providing the solution. So it's life-changing.
Yeah, it's more than just vanity, because it sounds a little bit, you know, stupid, but you are changing their life, because if they walk out feeling better, they're going to be more confident and they're going to tackle on whatever their thing is a lot better and with more of a strong stride in it. And, you know, we have clients of all sorts, so if they're doing better at what they do, that keeps the world turning. So it, you know, you look good, feel good. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason, I think.
I think you constantly need to be outside of your comfort zone, or you just don't progress or evolve or move on with anything that's bigger and better. You constantly have to be outside of that comfort zone. As soon as you're in your comfort zone, it's just stagnant. There's just no growth and nowhere to go. Right?
If it's not scaring you, it's probably not the right thing.
Right. Like, you should be a little bit scared.
Yeah.
You know, things should be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, and just be honest with that. New Year's this year, I was at a house party and speaking with some people about my concerns for the new year, and I had just gotten a promotion to being a more hefty manager, and I was really nervous about, how the hell do I do this? I am younger than everybody I'm managing, and that alone is a whole
Scary.
thing. Yeah, and also I'm not an esthetician. I've never even been a receptionist before. I've never worked in this kind of environment with these politics. I don't know beauty. I don't know the ins and outs. And this person really honestly and frankly just said to me, that is your thing, though. Your thing is that you don't know anything, so you can be molded to be anything.
Oh.
And I was thinking of it from like a scarcity mindset, and they turned it around to like an abundance, and instead of that being the weakness, that could be the strength, is that I'm not coming in jaded or with preconceptions, or I already know how to do this, or these are the tools to do this in the best way. They said that, like, you know, out of everybody, they chose you, and they chose you because of
this.
You know, like, lean into that and be their cookie cutter mold, because if you don't have all that extra gunk on the outside of you, they can mold you to how you want. So that's my mindset now with going out of comfort zone, is just as long as you're transparent and honest about it and you have the desire to learn and learn it properly, just do it. And then if you decide you hate it, or you decide you're not good at it, then you know.
Yep.
I was going to say, I totally lost my train of thought. You talk about this, Holly, with estheticians that are out of school, that you can train to wax the way that we need them to wax, regardless of taking someone that's been waxing for 50 years and maybe stuck in...
Yeah, so it's same thing as what Becca was just saying about taking on a manager that doesn't have that experience. I would much rather take on a person that's fresh off the street or fresh out of school that maybe hasn't retained all of that knowledge, and mold them into the person that I want to be. it's the same thing of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So if I was trying to take a 20-year experienced esthetician and all of a sudden show her these advanced, innovative methods of waxing, it's going to be very hard for her to
it's counterintuitive.
forget what she knows because it goes against everything that she knows. So
habit and your muscle memory.
Definitely an advantage to have that clean slate because you can become the cookie cutter model of what they need for sure.
I just want to give a bit of a shout out to Amanda Billings because this reminds me of her very much. So Amanda is a very successful esthetician in Ontario right now, but she worked for us. She actually worked at Tim Hortons coffee shop.
Wow.
And she came and she applied with us. I didn't stay for her interview because I was just so upset about all the people that were coming in for the interviews, and I was actually interviewing with Ashley at the time. Ashley was my manager here in Vancouver, and the interviews were just so bad, and I just finally said to Ash, I was like, you do the last one, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Interviews are
That's a lot.
They're not usually
and
good.
Ash did the interview, and she came to me and she's like, I want to hire her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's like the only one that I didn't sit in for, but okay, you're the manager. Hire her. And Amanda turned out to be a triple threat for us. So no experience in the beauty industry, no experience as a receptionist, no experience as a manager. And she became all three for us. So she started out as reception. And I would listen to her talk, and she talked like a waxper, like she talked like an esthetician.
Yeah.
So in BC, you actually don't have to be licensed to do aesthetic services.
Yeah.
So because we have the School of Hard and Soft Wax, I said to her, I said, do you want to be an esthetician because you speak like one? And she said, I would love to, but I can't afford the school.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I said, well, we'll sponsor you to the School of Hard and Soft Wax if you want to do it. She said, absolutely. Took the time, put all the work in, and then she became a waxpert.
Okay.
And then from there, she became our manager. So she did all three elements. So talk about someone being taken completely out of their comfort zone on all levels and was so successful on all three levels. And she was one of the most outstanding employees I have ever had the pleasure of working with.
Wow. That's amazing.
Shout out Amanda.
Yeah, she's incredible. Just
That's amazing.
amazing.
Big shoes to fill. I've heard a lot about Amanda, and whenever I ask Luba for advice or guidance, she often brings up Amanda. So shout out Amanda. I would love to get on a call with you.
And she's still doing aesthetics back east.
That's amazing.
So she's like, and I think she's actually just doing lash lifting.
National.
Yeah, I want to find her on Instagram really quick because I want to make sure that we give her a proper shout out.
Yeah.
Amanda.
So Holly, what will your mindset going forward be with being pushed out of your comfort zone? Will you be more open to it, or do you think you'll still be as scared?
I can't be resistant, and that's been my hardest lesson because everything that has pushed me out of my comfort zone, like,
it ends up being good.
To go one step back again, I started working for a big waxing company, and I was afraid of public speaking. Like, I was literally one of those people that was like, I would rather be the person in the casket than the person giving the eulogy. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And then I was told I had to get up and speak in front of 30 students. And I was like, no way. Like, no, I will call in sick. I'm not doing that. I was like at that point of anxiety, like I am not speaking in front of people. So they're like, all right, we'll give you some support. Like, someone else can go with you the first couple of times, but you're gonna have to do it. I was like, I'm not fucking doing it. Anyway,
you did it.
Now I'm known as a trainer who gets up on stage
and you're great
speaks in front of 50 to 70
audience.
people.
Yeah.
So, and I never thought
Holly the hair ripper with tip-top techniques.
Yes.
Exactly. But so no, never be resistant to it because it's always leading you to where you need to be.
Yes, exactly. It's the universe asking you to level up. You know, you have to go through a boss before you can get to the next level.
That's right. Yeah.
So with Amanda, it is at amanda.at.chic if you want to follow her and visit her in Kingston, Ontario.
Wow, my family lives in Belleville. That's
There you
really
go.
close. She'll
Shout
know
out.
what that means.
So yes, being totally pushed out of comfort zones is, I think it's very healthy.
It is.
It's
the only
scary
time
at
you grow.
first, but you just got to do it. Just count to 3 and do it like
Right.
a cannonball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to do it. You just got to learn and be motivated. Do it. Just like Nike. They've nailed their slogan.
Just do it?
Just do
Just
it.
do it.
Like that just sums it so perfectly.
Right? So I think I've kind of been out of my comfort zone my entire career. Like
Yeah, you as well. Yeah.
right from the beginning, but especially with starting a business in a different country and all of that. And my biggest thing is, and I'm going to read a quote that I posted on my personal social, is every choice you make determines the standard you accept for your life. And one of the things for me was that I wanted a better life than my parents had and their parents had. And if you don't push yourself outside of your comfort zone, you will never have a better standard for your life. It'll just be mediocre.
Very true.
So
Exactly.
Yeah. So true.
I like that quote. That's good. Put that as a screensaver.
I think, yeah, right?
It is,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
so.
It's a good reminder because you forget in amongst the
We
stress
do.
and the
anxiety
Yeah.
and the unknown, and you just got to go with it. Just go with it. Just try.
And the what ifs and
Yeah.
another thing was, and someone had said this to me, is because anytime they would bring up an idea, I was like, well, it won't work because of this, or what if this happens? And it was the very negative, what if this
Yeah.
can happen, but what if that doesn't happen?
Yeah.
And what if it
What
is
if the best
successful?
thing happens?
And what if this,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it comes with age or experience or whatever that is, but that's very much in like the back of my mind now. Like,
Yeah.
let's develop a skin lightening line and invest all this money and do all these great things.
And just try for it to
And
do
just-
really well.
If you believe in it and you're willing to put in the hard work and be uncomfortable every day,
Yep.
I think you can have great success from it.
Yeah, of course. It's like that quote, whether or not you think you can or you can't, you're right. I don't know who says that, but that
I
is
love
also
that
great.
too.
And then speaking other podcasts, there's a podcast I listen to by a woman called Rebecca Louise, and her podcast is called It Takes Grit. And one thing that she always says is she's a really strong businesswoman and entrepreneur and successful, but speaks about the hard as well. And one thing she says is to never take advice or criticism from someone you would not trade places with.
Oh.
So the people telling you, what if it doesn't work, or what if you can't, or that's
That's a
too
good
big,
one.
that's too audacious, that's too scary, don't take criticism or advice from them if you would not happily trade places with their life. So if they're not, in other words, above you or successful or who you would want to be, don't listen to them.
That's a
I
good
love
one.
that.
Yeah.
Well, mine's really simple. Mine's just, it's a better a whoops than a what if.
That's cute. Yeah.
That's good.
I like that. Maybe I'll do that as my screensaver. I got
Better
so many
whoops than a
ideas
what if.
now.
Right?
Okay.
Well, on that note, try new things. Don't litter.
Don't
Be a good
afraid.
person.
Don't be afraid. Take challenges each day. Be uncomfortable.
Very.
Grow.
Yeah. The more uncomfortable, the better.
Except your pants. Those should be comfortable.
Yeah. Don't try and fit into 2 sizes too small.
Yeah, no. Then you'd go yoga pants.
Okay, Lululemon are lifesavers.
They're great. I love Chip Wilson, smartest man on
I
earth.
know. And I'm sure he was uncomfortable, push out of
Yeah, well,
comfort zones.
it was like a surf store to start in Kitsilano, which is a very like beachy kind of hippie town.
What was it called?
West Beach.
West Beach.
Yeah, it had a different name, and then they switched, so entirely rebranded.
He sold it.
New name.
I think he sold that, and he
Is
did
that
Lululemon
how?
separately. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Wish you had him on.
we can try.
Chip, call us.
Know where he lives.
We'll get him on.
I know someone who's been to his door, so
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Get
ask
out of
him
the
to
comfort zone.
Hook us up. Yeah.
Slide into our DMs. We'll have you on as a guest.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
We'll try. Push ourselves out of a comfort zone. Go knock on his door.
Absolutely, right? If you don't ask, if you don't put yourself out there,
Yeah.
you'll never know.
You'll never
Yeah,
know.
the worst that
never
can
know.
happen is they say no.
Yeah.
And that's really nothing's changed then if you hadn't asked.
Yeah. Right. So, on that note, I think we are all happy to be outside of comfort zones. Continue to push. Tell us about your uncomfortable situations, how you've pushed yourself outside of comfort zones, how that worked for you. And I'm sure, like, I don't think anyone can say that they've been outside of a comfort zone and it didn't work for them. I don't know.
If you have, tell us.
Yeah. We would love to find out.
I'm sure it happens.
I think there's
something.
there's great
It depends
things-
on what, I think.
Great things happen if you just push the envelope. Something will come out of it. A lesson? Why is the producer laughing?
We're just hilarious.
Somebody's got
We never know what we're saying that gets them going so bad, but when we have a live audience, they're giggling in the background. It's like,
We're so funny.
$29.99 at the door to be part of the live audience.
yeah. And if you would like to be a guest speaker or call in, you know, we can talk about that depending on who you are and what you've got to
We
say.
would love to hear from you.
Yes, so comments at betweenbothcheeks.com. You can follow us on Instagram at betweenbothcheeks or write us a review on iTunes and subscribe because it helps us out a lot.
Make sure that you subscribe and comment on our YouTube channel, Wax Hair Removal Bar. If you want to call in your questions, you can speak directly to Becca at 1-844-4-WAX-BAR.
Yep.
And make sure you follow us on social media as well at Wax HR Bar.
Yep. Or if you want to follow the Skin Lightening line, that's at Brighten Up. Bright is spelled with a Y.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.